So, negative reviews. We all know that they can impact a business to an extreme extent. Like we all know, people base their decisions on reviews, and having a 1-star review can really hurt your business. And because most of the times you won't be able to remove bad reviews or negative reviews, because people are entitled to their opinion, unless it's like a spam review or something that you can then report to Google, because you can report any review to Google, but they won't remove it. The only instance where I've seen reviews being removed is if they are completely spam, okay? Otherwise, you'll have to live with negative reviews. And let's try and find here a negative review. And before I go over how to reply to a negative review, let me just tell you that a negative review can be an opportunity for you as a business to show other people that read that review that you are transparent and that you're able to accept the criticism and grow from that. I'll show you a perfect example from this, which is here on Legit, where I sell some SEO services. For example, this service right here, I had someone leave a negative review, which was totally okay. I'm totally okay with it because I understand the customer's frustration. And even though I don't agree 100% with this, I managed to take that negative review and make something good out of it. So let me explain. These are PBN links that you point at your website and make it rank higher in Google. Of course, PBN links alone won't rank a site in Google. You need on-page SEO, you need other things regarding off-page SEO. But for the sake of it, let's just read this review. The buyer said, well, I didn't see any improvements at all in almost 2 months. Totally valid. Might be true, might be false, I don't know. I'll believe the customer, of course. So let's say this is true. And it might be because PBN links don't do the job on their own. It's important to do other types of optimizations. But what did I do with this review? This review was down here, somewhere here. This right here. There's here other ones which I can go over them as well. But this one is a fake one, for example. This was a big issue with the client. But let's now focus on this one. What I did was I took a screenshot of this review and I used it in a way that other customers that saw this review would see how I replied to it and how I acknowledged the review. So first of all, you need to acknowledge it. Acknowledging a review is really important. And this is what I did here. Acknowledge the review. And again, of course, we're doing this in a GMB. We can do this in Facebook because you can also get reviews on Facebook. I'm just explaining to you the theory behind this because you can apply this to any place people can leave reviews on. I'm just going to give you an example in specific. I'll then go over again here in a second. But first step is to acknowledge the review, which I already did here. And I also did down here, acknowledging the review with a reply. Then you want to be nice to the person, okay? Because if it is a genuine negative review or from a bad experience or a bad product they bought, it's your fault. It's always your fault, okay? It's always your fault. Of course, there are cases where it's not your fault as a business. Something else might have happened, but in the end, it's almost always your fault. So what I did here was just reply and trying to teach him, not teach him a lesson, of course, but trying to explain to him why he saw the results he saw, which were none. Which I said, links aren't everything. Without a good on-page SEO, you can build links. You can build all links you want. You won't see any ranking improvements. That being said, send me a PM. I'll send you your money back because I'm not trying to scam anyone. So I acknowledged the review. I said, I wrote this right here for other customers that read this review in specific to know why he didn't see any improvements. So you have to give other so you have to reply to the review. Okay, so you have to acknowledge and then reply in specific to the review, which was what I did here. And then you have to give something back as a form of compensation, which again I did. So I said, send me a private message and I will refund you all your money back. So I'm not trying to argue here. I'm not trying to say, blah, 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 you did this bad, you did this good. I'm not trying to argue. I just acknowledge it, explain why, and then offer something in return to repay him. Then this happened here as well above. A customer saying, I can't really remember this one, but complaining of the traffic. Then of course I acknowledged it, I explained it, and I offered for the money back as well, I think. If I didn't do it here, I did it through a private message. But the goal here is to acknowledge, reply to the review specific. And then on Google My Business, you can't do this. But what I did was take the review and put it up here in the actual service description. So I took a negative review and put it on my sales page. This is not very common, but it's something that I did, something that I chose to do because it brings out the transparency in the business. Let's move out of this example because I think you now understand. So first step is to acknowledge the review. Then it's to actually reply and try and solve the problem they were complaining about in the review. So if it is a bad product or a bad service, you explain them what happened. So you always need to explain them what happened, and then offer some sort of compensation, either their money back, a new product, a new service, whatever it is. And of course, never be confrontatious. Never try and judge the person or start a discussion. Okay, that's not a good look. You never want to start a discussion in a public place, in a review, which is a public place anyone can see. So let's go over this one. As you can see, 1-star reviews 5 days ago wasn't replied to. This one, a 1-star review 7 months ago, which was replied to. Let's see how they did. So I'm not going to read all of this, because even if the customer is right or is wrong, it doesn't really matter. The only thing you need to know, or the only thing you want to do, is to mitigate the bad look that this review gives your business. So it doesn't really matter if it's right or wrong. Even if the customer is lying or completely wrong, it doesn't matter. The review is there, it's 1 star. You need to address it either way. Okay? Let's see how was the response. This was a top-notch response. Professional. Okay? Dear patient, we appreciate the feedback. So acknowledge the person and the feedback and say thank you for the feedback. We appreciate it. Even if it's bad or good, false or true, you always appreciate the feedback. Then you go over the situation in specific. We understand that various situations may arise to delay of our patient's arrival to the office. Thus, to accommodate for such occasions, we have set a grace period of 10 to 15 minutes, blah, blah. Basically, they're explaining the situation. Then they offer something. Like I said, it could be a free service, money back, whatever. In this case, they offered to better their business. They say, however, we have discussed our policy with the staff to make sure that no appointment is cancelled prematurely going forward. As you can see, me reading this review and reading the response from this negative review, I look at the business and I think, okay, so they got a negative review, but they're improving on it. They're improving upon it. So they took the criticism and they're improving on it. And this is exactly what you want to do. So acknowledge it, say thank you, offer something, and improve, which was what I did on Legit as well. I acknowledged the issue and I improved on it. And that's exactly how you want to reply to reviews. Never be confrontatious. Never. The customer is always right even when he's not right. They have a couple more here which they don't reply to. I'm not sure why. But if you have bad reviews, you want to make sure you reply to all of them with a complete response. So nothing like this, for example. This is a bad reply. We are happy to announce that we have Wi-Fi available for our patients. Let me just see. Affected, they don't have Wi-Fi. Okay, so he's complaining that they don't have Wi-Fi. The answer could be a bit more professional. They could say what they said up here. Okay, to this person right here, this way, and then going forward, we have installed Wi-Fi in our facilities, so our customers can benefit from that amenity. So improve upon the criticism. And me reading, and anyone reading these reviews and reading the replies will see, okay, so it's a bad review because they didn't have Wi-Fi, but now they do. So this review becomes somewhat irrelevant to some extent. So I think you understand more or less how to reply to negative reviews. So acknowledge it, even if it's fake or true criticism, good or bad, you also have to acknowledge. Say thank you for the person leaving the review. Reply to the actual issue the person is complaining about. Offer ways to fix it, or say you fixed it and how you did it, and try and repay that person back with their money back, new service, whatever. And this might seem like something you don't even want to bother with, but it's really important because having a bunch of negative reviews, first of all, without replies, it's bad. And with bad replies, it's even worse. With confrontations replies or with angry replies, you don't want to do that. You always want to reply and know how to reply. Yeah, that's it in regards to negative reviews. I hope you really do implement this because it's really, really important.